What's up, DiaBEAST fam? It's your boy Percy Robinson coming at you with another smash hit video. Now, before we even get started, I want to stop and I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there putting in the hard work, being amazing role models to their children. And it's your day, kings. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Back to the show, baby. Okay, so this recipe that I'm doing, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time to attempt to make this because like my favorite NFL coach always says, I was living in my fears. So yesterday, I was kind of in a bad mood. I'm not gonna lie. I had some people put me in a bad mood, but I resorted back to cooking. Cooking puts me in such a great mood. I mean, I had the music going, a little bit of Isley Brothers, maybe a little bit of Marvin Gaye, some OJs, you know, something that's just going to put my mind at ease, and then I just let it go. And I just create these different type of recipes. But this recipe, it was, how can I say it? It was inspired by these two brothers in Compton. They started cooking out of their house, selling, and then they turned it into a big restaurant business. So I have to give all the props to these brothers because they gave me this idea. One thing that they didn't have, or one option that they didn't have, was a vegan option. So that's where the hard part came in for me. I was like, how am I gonna turn this delicious pineapple bowl, right, and make it look like that, but make it healthy and make it vegan? Notice how I said make it healthy and make it vegan, because when there's a lot of products out there that, you know, are high in sodium, they are vegan, they're plant-based, all that other stuff, but they're high in sodium and they're not so good for you. And I don't recommend you eating them every day. So I'm talking about taking a raw material, make it from scratch, and turn it into something that looks like one of their types of bowls. So I decided, hey, cauliflower, I've done cauliflower before, I've done buffalo cauliflower wings, but I wanted to cut the cauliflower into small little pieces and make it emulate the look of its chicken or beef on there, on top. But anyways, I can ramble all day about this. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And I'll see you on the other side. Roll the intro. Okay, DiaBEAST fam, we are back at it again, and what I'm doing is I'm rinsing the cauliflower. I should have used a colander, but I didn't think of it at the time, so I'm just rinsing it in the bowl that I have right now. Now, it doesn't matter if you use hot, warm, or cold water. Just rinse your vegetables. However you do it, just do it, and you'll be so much happier afterwards. So I'm just gonna give it a drain. I'm gonna lose a few pieces of cauliflower, but that's all right. So I'm gonna set it off to the side, and I am going to get my plastic bags. I believe these are 1 gallon plastic bags. And I thought I was gonna need 2, but I fit everything into 1. And I'm gonna put the cauliflower inside the bags. Now, if you don't have the plastic bags, that's fine. Just apply all the ingredients inside a mixing bowl of your choosing. Now at this point, I was losing patience, so I just grabbed the bowl and just started dumping
it into the bag. I just didn't have time or the patience for it. So, I mean, you may lose a few, but that's all right. But if you have the time, just do you. So now I am going to grab some almond milk, and I'm going to do like 2 cups of almond milk. So I'm going to use some apple cider vinegar, and I'm going to put it into the almond milk. This is going to give it that buttermilk kind of taste, feel, and texture that you need. Remember, this is all vegan, ladies and gentlemen. We are not using any dairy products at all. So once I got the milk and the apple cider vinegar inside the bag, I'm going to just mix it around with all the air inside so I can make sure that every piece is infused with this flavor. So now that I am satisfied with the mixture, I'm going on to the next step. And that step is adding the seasoning. So I'm going to start off with some onion powder. I'm going to go ahead and drizzle that in there like that there. And then I'm going to add some smoked paprika with some cayenne pepper for that little fire. Now, if you are sensitive to the heat, I suggest skipping the step. And then I'm going to add some garlic powder. And we can't forget the good old Creole seasoning. I'm just gonna dump a little bit inside. Not that much, but just a little bit. And then now I'm going to add some quinoa flour. I finally found quinoa flour. Oh my God, I was so happy. So I'm going to do about a cup of quinoa flour. Now, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, once I add everything into the bag, it's going to work as a batter. So by me doing this, it kind of skips a step of me having to do the wet ingredients on one side and the dry ingredients on the other side. So this is going to just marinate inside the bag on its own with the dry and the wet ingredients, and it's just going to sit off to the side. And once I put everything all in together, I'm going to put this into the refrigerator for about 20 to 30 minutes. So at this point, I like what I'm seeing, and now I'm going to take the air, all of the air out of the bag, and then I'm going to put this off to the side again in the refrigerator for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'm going to start my next step. And that next step is we are going to start with the quinoa. Now you're asking yourself, well, you're talking about quinoa, but there is cilantro right here. I am going to add the cilantro into the quinoa. This is going to give that quinoa that nice freshness it needs. Now at this point, we are going to chop the cilantro into small pieces. What we're trying to do is, the smaller the better. We don't need like big pieces inside the quinoa. We just want it to look like there's little specks of cilantro inside the quinoa. So now I'm going to use about 2 cups of quinoa. And I'm going to measure it out, of course. I'm not good enough to eyeball this, unfortunately. Now, since this is going to be a cilantro, lime, coconut quinoa, I bet you can't say that 10 times. But yeah, we're going to do 1 cup coconut cream or coconut milk and 1 cup water. And we're going to add that into the Instapot. And if it comes out clumpy like this, don't worry. The water that we are going to add to it is going to help thin it out. So don't panic, ladies and gentlemen. I got your back. So we're going to add the water now. And your measuring cup should look something like this. Bam, 2 cups, perfect. Now we're going to add it to the Instapot, just like that there. And we're not done. So we are going to add 1 lime, and we're going to squeeze it inside the measuring cup. And then we're going to add water on top of that as well. So that way we have the mixture of everything that we need. Now, when I'm cooking, I like to start the things that's going to take the longest first, like, marinating the cauliflower and starting the quinoa. So while these are cooking, I can do everything else. And by the time everything is done, it's all done at the same time. So that's a quick tip. I'm pretty sure you guys do it too, but for some of you that don't do it, that's the way I do it. So bam. All right, so I got everything I need into the Instapot. I'm gonna select quinoa just like that. Time is where it needs, and I'm gonna hit start, and it's on to the next step. So now that I got my parchment paper, I usually get them in sheets like this, so that way, because my air fryer, the baskets are pretty small, so I had to customize them by cutting, them in half. Now that I got the parchment paper cut the way I like it into the size that I need it, I'm going to grab the baskets and apply the sheets on top. That simple, that easy. All right, I'm being a little extra right now. Now, while the cauliflower is still in the refrigerator, well, it's actually right there, I'm going to start working on my dry batter. Now, the dry batter is, I'm just going to take this stuff, the cauliflower that is actually inside the bag, and I'm going to apply it to the dry batter and then add it to the sheets. But before I add it to the sheets, I'm going to get some coconut oil, and I'm going to spray these down so that way it doesn't stick to these sheets. That simple, that easy. And just like that, I am going to add the cauliflower on the sheets, just like that there. Now, I've been working with cauliflower for a while and how to actually the best way to apply batter to the cauliflower to make it stick, and I have found that this way works so much better, for me at least. So I just took the wet ingredients, put a couple pieces inside the dry ingredients, shake it around just like that, and your cauliflower should look something like this. And we're going to spray it with some avocado oil because it's going to cook a lot easier and it's going to give it that crispiness that you need. And now we're going to apply the baskets into the air fryer. Just like that there. And with that being said, we are going to set the air fryer to 400 degrees and we're going to cook it for 15 minutes, but make sure you check it periodically. So now what we're going to do is we are going to cut the pineapple. Now this part makes me nervous. It made me nervous because, I mean, you only get one shot to get it right. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp, and I like to cut the end first and then hit the stem. So I start off with the end, make sure the cut is nice and even, and then I'll end up with the stem. So this next step, we are going to hollow the pineapple out. Now you want to make sure that you don't cut too deep because you don't want to puncture a hole into the skin. So I am going to do my best in cutting around this thing and make sure that it's nice and sturdy. And I'm going to make my slices around, across, and down. So that way I can just start pulling away at each piece. Just like that there. Now at this point, just take your time, don't rush it because you do not want to make the mistake in ripping the skin off. So pineapples ain't that cheap. I'm telling you that right now. So you definitely want to make sure you take your time with this. Now the flesh of the pineapple, we are going to just pull it out and put it into the bowl off to the side because we are going to use some of this later for the sauce / marinade. Now once I got the majority of the big pieces out, I am going to take a spoon of some sort and I'm just going to start cleaning this up a little bit more. And then I'm just going to tip it off into the bowl and we should have a hollowed out pineapple. First time around, ladies and gentlemen, success. Come to think about it, I really should have done this thing a long time ago. I really don't know what I was afraid of. Sometimes fear just cripples me sometimes. And it just took a day like today and I said, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a hollowed out pineapple. So now we are going to heat up a pot, a saucepan, or whatever you have. And we are going to add the cut up pineapples to the pan. And then we're going to add the juice. So what I'm trying to accomplish right here is I want a mixture of the sweet and a mixture of the savory. Now you can take it a step further, maybe add some chili flakes, give it some more spice. I mean, you can do it however you want to do it, but this right here, the sauce alone tasted so good. And then I added some hoisin sauce. So like I said, get creative, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever your taste buds desire, go for it. Don't be afraid to try something. And if you fail, you fail. We have stuff left over. We can try it over again. Don't be like me. Don't let fear cripple you. So look how it's starting to caramelize and thicken up. And this is the consistency that you want. So here's the shot. There's the cauliflower. And don't forget to eat good, live good, feel good. There's the sauce. And our quinoa should be done as well. just like that, everything is starting to come together. I mean, I was surprised how fast making this happen. I was really surprised. So now I'm going to add my cauliflower to the marinade, and I'm just going to mix it around, make sure everything is nicely and beautifully infused, just like that there. All right, y'all know what time it is. My favorite part, dressing up my bowl. I think I was waiting all day or all time, while I was cooking this, I was imagining how I was going to dress up this bowl. So I just put the quinoa on one side, and then I'm going to add my cauliflower on the other side, and it's just turned out so beautifully. I'm so excited on how this turned out and how it looked, how it tasted. I'm just super happy about this. So now all I'm doing is just adding some sesame seeds. I added some smoked sesame seeds and some black sesame seeds. Mainly just for the look. I mean, you can barely taste it, but you know. Ladies and gentlemen, the look on my face says so many things. I'm surprised on how good it really tasted, and I was so happy that it turned out so well. I just had to give you all a closer look. I mean, look at the detail. Woo! Your boy did his thing, y'all.
Welcome back, DiaBEAST fam. Welcome back, baby. Wasn't that video amazing? I want to thank you guys for taking the time and watching these videos. It means so much to me. I put a lot of time and effort shooting and editing, and I just appreciate all you guys' support, and I hope you guys get some type of value out of this as well. And if you do, leave something down in the comments. Let me know that you're there. I do write back. but all jokes aside, thank you guys for all your support. When I first started, I didn't know that, I didn't know where this was going to go and, what it was going to accomplish. But yeah, I guess we're at the end of the video. So you guys know what I'm about to say. If you eat good, you live good, and you feel good. And don't forget to tune in, tell a friend, and subscribe. Peace.